Hey, let's talk about TF2 for a minute. We played it last night, and I actually worked on TF2. But some things have changed about it, and I always go back to a good example of something. So we played last night, and we had to play on a private server because the bots have taken over. All right, now there's a code leak that let all the hackers understand, like the bot situation. Let's ignore that for a minute. That's heartbreaking that the game's hard to play in a public setting at all, right? I'm going to go back some updates. They did an update, and this is the update that I kind of got bummed out about, is, and I'll say I don't know if it's modern games. I'm kind of curious of why I want to talk about it, because I'm kind of curious of what people think about this. So for me, TF2 for a really long time was this game that I just jumped into casually. I would play this game with myself where I was allowed to play for as long as I stayed alive. If I died, I had to quit playing. And I would just jump into random public matches, right? And there's always a bunch of matches going on. There's some private servers I played on as well. But it was just fun, easy jump in. And then they added the whole interface where you had to like queue up. And that killed the game for me. That absolutely destroyed the game for me. Because what happened there was, and I think this is me coming in from the outside because I wasn't on that team, but I kind of felt like they were chasing Overwatch because Overwatch was picking up popularity and it was a different beast. But it lost then what Team Fortress was. So Team Fortress had this great modding community around it, this great, just weird, goofy vibe to it. I love writing for those characters. There's so much absolute fun. Jay Pinkerton and Eric Wolpa actually did the comics, but I did still writing for the game because I love the characters. But it was like this fun game where you would play casually, and then what would happen for me often is I would say I'm going to only play till I die. And then more people would join in, and you'd have a good game, and people would be talking, and like you would kind of have a community around then just playing. And you would just go play again, and it would just keep going. And it used to be that the game just kept going, and you could just keep going and going and going. And you didn't have these big resets. You didn't win or lose. I mean, you lost rounds or whatever, but nobody cared. It was just fun to play. I actually played on private servers where people did book readings and kind of made this whole social thing about it. And then they added this competitive structure to it. That whole, you're going to go for this match, and then it's over, and then it's going to go away, and you got to go queue up again. It just really killed the game for me. And I think about that a lot. I think about that as it's such a big misstep. I wish they could roll that back. Please, if you're listening, roll that back. I guess now the bots. But it's that knowing, like, everyone wants to be the big competitive game. Everyone wants to be the game that, like, it's Counter-Strike, right? Counter-Strike. Absolutely, Counter-Strike isn't about grinding out, leveling up, or anything like that, right? Counter-Strike is about the matches, the play, and all of that. And it does that really well. But TF2 isn't about that, and making it about that just killed that game. That is heartbreaking to me. I say it, I don't normally say negative things about Valve or about the processor, about games I've played on, but TF2 is so dear to my heart. From the SFL, the SFM stuff that came out of it, it's just so hilarious and so funny and just so good. Oh my God, the creativity of the community around that game, the early mods that came with that, the early cosmetic stuff that came from the goofiness of the hats to everything else. Just so creative, so great. Yeah, and that just is a heartbreaker to me. I don't know if anyone plays it still. We still play MVM still some. And if you want to play, join our Discord, discord.gg/StoryBombay. People played last night. We're not really competitive. There are some competitive people came on last night. I'm going to make a rule about that again, that you have to be in chat or you can't play because it ruins the game. Because it's a social game. It's a social game hanging out with people. And if you're just playing the game and not talking, this is not the same. So, yeah, it's that weird bittersweet of playing it last night for the first time in a while where we just played kind of the vanilla, generic TF2 and remembering how much I miss it and how much I miss that world and those characters and just how great it is. And making sure you understand who you are and what you are and being true to that versus, chasing whatever's out there. I don't know. Also, look, I'm dressed up today. Had to come on and tape something.